he's going to do some things for me that I can no longer do. But before I start, I would just like to introduce myself a little. I'm the second eldest in a family of 9 children. My sister is down in the audience tonight, thanks for coming. And 9 children, you say? My mother is about that high. Yeah. She's about that wide and about that deep. So you can see that the genes got passed down. I attended St Mary's College in Wellington and then Victoria University. And I can tell you that when I left school, I was never, ever, ever going to be a teacher. The last thing on my mind. So as Hamish said, I started my life as a probation officer in Otaki and Otaki, in the days when basically they were a bit of a ghetto in South Auckland. Those were the days when some people actually ripped up their floorboards to light a fire to keep their kids warm. And I guess it was my first introduction to the fact that I was really one of the very lucky ones. The awakening of a social conscience, and I wanted to make a difference. But off first overseas to grow up. I began working in a pub run by the Irish. The manager, an alcoholic, was fiddling the till. The barman, an alcoholic, spent his whole time down in the basement. The other barman, strangely also an alcoholic, stirred up trouble in the public bar. And eventually the breweries got sick of us all and threw us out. I ended up living in a tiny, tiny council flat with the alcoholic cleaner, with 2 large dogs, 3 Irish boys and 2 other Kiwis. The night we arrived, she had had an alcoholic meltdown and smashed glass bottles all over the kitchen floor. Her husband was inside for dealing. How the people lived. People with nothing. 3rd generation unemployed, no money except alcohol and drugs. But that again was a real life learning experience for me, and strangely enough, one that I really, really enjoyed. Every one of those people, except when drunk, were incredibly kind and sharing. That is, I brought the food and they shared it. Round the continent next on a bus tour. Does trouble follow me? A nutter with a knife, 2 American boys who've never seen cows, a fight in Warsaw between the passengers and the drivers, black marketeering, and smuggling religious icons out of Russia. Not by me. But the most memorable thing on that whole trip for me was a visit to a public toilet in Russia. A public toilet, you say? How can that be memorable? Let me explain. Public toilets in Russia in the days had huge cubicles. The cubicles would have gone from Uncle Rowdy's chair there over to the start of Mr. Fraser's chair. Wouldn't reach the sides. All it was a scooped out hollow in the concrete floor with 2 raised platforms for the feet. Josh. Josh is going to show you now. Okay, Josh, you ready? How do we do it? Step in. Step in. And squat. So good. You can see why I needed Josh. I can't do that any longer. I hadn't had a lot to drink that night, but my mate had. But I had a problem. Okay, Josh, show us. Can we reach the walls? Nothing to support yourself getting up. Ultimately, I managed to get up and I managed to exit. And in the distance, I heard a cry for, what do my weight say, Josh?
Ow, ow!
So, being a really kind person, I raced to help. I swung open the door. I'll show you what happened. What did my mate do then, Josh?
You're young there!
Needless to say, my mate did not leave that experience unsoiled. Back home then, time to reassess the dream. I still hope to make a difference. I started teaching at Whakatane, and yes, I was here at Otaki College in 1983 and 84, and I realised that most of you weren't born then, but I did teach some of your relatives at that stage. Then I went through schools in the South Island and North Island. After a gap year of driving buses in Wellington, I returned to Otaki College. Back home is what I believe. Back home, and yes, I have been there for the last 18 years. At this point, I'd like to be serious and pay homage to the great Otaki staff that I have worked with throughout the years. Teachers, office staff, ground staff, but especially, I guess, I'd like to pay homage to the teacher aides who have worked alongside me in learning support. An extraordinary bunch of people who go the extra mile for students and take on responsibilities well beyond the pittance they are paid. I cannot speak too highly of their enthusiasm for and care of the students they work with. Thank you to you all, from the very early days of Hilary and Fiona to the outstanding crew we have today. And some of them are here tonight. The other factors that make us a great college are the students, families and community in Otaki. It has been great to have worked with the families and community, but it has been a special privilege to have worked with such delightful students. The highlights of my teaching years have been the many experiences I've had with students on trips. The most recent trip, a trip to the Gold Coast and the theme parks. Yes, I went on a roller coaster, the Madagascar roller coaster for kids. Was that fun, Josh? I didn't think so. Then worse still, Josh and I went on a ride at Wet n Wild called the Kamikaze Ride. The Kamikaze Ride went like that, and it was the sort of ride that you felt, I'm going to throw up, but you couldn't because the vomit had gone to your brain. I don't know why they call them fun rides. My life has been full of adventure and fun in teaching, even though there was not the original dream. Talking of dreams, I wish to throw a spanner in the work for week 1 of 2015. Every year, in week 1, we set about setting goals. Not only that, the goals have to be smart, measurable, achievable. I say no to goals. No to goals. Setting smart goals is an exercise for the brain. If your life ahead is limited by goals set by the brain, you will never reach your true potential. What I wish to talk about tonight is death. Dreams, altruism and community. What you were thinking at all. True success and achievement come not from the brain, but from the heart. As Eleanor Roosevelt said, the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. However, don't think that dreaming is a passive pastime. As Colin Powell states, a dream does not become reality through magic. It takes sweat, determination and hard work. whaia te iti kahurangi ki te tuhokoe me he monga te te. Aim for the highest cloud, so that if you miss it, you'll hit a lofty mountain. All of this can be summed up in the immortal words of that awe-inspiring song. That awe-inspiring song. When you walk through a storm, hold your head up high, and don't be afraid of the dark. At the end of the storm is a golden sky, and the sweet silver song of the lark. Walk on through the wind, So, message one for you tonight, Josh. What's message one?